William Wallace, Freedom or Death. The Scottish warrior who became a legend. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Memorandum, extended stories worth remembering. Have you ever heard the word freedom shouted with such passion it shook the world? That one word has echoed across centuries, and it belongs to a man whose name is forever etched in history, William Wallace. Today, I want to take you back over 700 years to meet an ordinary man who became a legend, Scotland's greatest symbol of the fight for independence. William Wallace was born around 1270 in Elderslie, Scotland, during a time of turmoil. His country was under constant pressure from England's King Edward I, better known as Edward Longshanks, a ruthless ruler determined to dominate Scotland. Wallace wasn't a nobleman or a wealthy landowner. He came from a modest family of minor warriors. What he did have was a fiery sense of justice and a heart that beat for freedom. In 1297, Wallace rose against the English occupation. He led an uprising that would make him a national symbol of resistance. That same year, he changed the course of Scottish history in one of the most famous battles ever fought, the Battle of Stirling Bridge. Despite having far fewer men, Wallace used brilliant strategy. He turned the narrow bridge and the river beneath it into weapons. English troops crowded onto the bridge, only to be cut down by the Scots. Wallace proved that brains could defeat brute force. It was more than a battle, it was a statement. Scotland would not bow without a fight. But history is never without tragedy. In 1298, Wallace faced King Edward's army again at the Battle of Falkirk. This time, the English brought overwhelming numbers and new tactics. Wallace's forces were defeated. Still, even in defeat, Wallace's name lived on. His courage inspired the Scots to continue fighting for generations. Sometimes, as his story shows us, failure can ignite more power than victory. Wallace eventually became a wanted man. Betrayed by his own countrymen, he was captured and taken to London in 1305. There, he endured one of the most brutal executions in history. The execution was meant to break Scotland's spirit. Instead, it immortalized Wallace's cry, freedom. Even though his body was destroyed, his ideals could not be silenced. His story became a rallying point for Scottish independence. And while Wallace himself never lived to see Scotland free, his sacrifice fueled the cause. In later generations, Scotland would win its independence, thanks in part to the fire Wallace sparked. Hundreds of years later, his story is still told in books, songs, national anthems, and of course, the Academy Award-winning film, Braveheart. Through that movie, Wallace's story reached millions worldwide, reminding us that the courage of one man can inspire centuries. This is the power of storytelling, how the life of one ordinary man becomes a legend that crosses time and borders. Friends, William Wallace's life teaches us that true greatness doesn't come from never falling, it comes from rising again, even when the odds are against you. We may stumble, we may fail, but failure leaves behind lessons that make us stronger. Just as Wallace showed the world, freedom is too precious to give up. So, whatever challenges you're facing, whether big or small, don't be afraid to stand up again. Your struggle today might become the spark that lights someone else's hope tomorrow. Thank you for remembering William Wallace with us today. This has been Nefertiti with Memorandum. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more inspiring stories from history. Until next time, goodbye for now.